mystery that unfolded and took the veil right off my heart. But I let the world around me, the sense of right and wrong confound me. Looking back, it's all so clear. I should have held you close, put my heart on the line. I should have kissed your lips just one more time. Should have stayed all night, wouldn't have been wrong. Should have taken a chance, now the chances are gone. And what should have been forever now just isn't. 'Cause I didn't.
All right. That's real catchy. I like that.
Oh, thank
I like
you.
that song a lot. I've listened to it a couple times. Welcome to Skrilltown Talk. I'm your host,
I'm
Mr.
tickled to be
Skrilltown.
here.
I'm your host, Mr. Skrilltown himself, and tonight we have the lovely Southern rock artist Michelle Leigh. Hey!
I am tickled to be here. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome. Thank you for allowing us this opportunity. Michelle's been doing big things for a while, and we're greatly appreciated to have her on the show tonight. This is part two
Yeah,
because
we
we
tried
tried,
this a couple of times. Yeah.
we tried it, and the lovely internet interfered. So we're
Mhm.
gonna try this one more again for the Southern people. One more again.
One more
Uh,
again. You know what? I think it was probably me. I've been watching these articles, or these little blogs, I guess, on YouTube,
mhm,
about RH negative people, and I have always, I'm telling you the truth, I have always fried electronics. Anywhere I go,
mm.
I will fry them. And I used to like just mess up my Bluetooth devices all the time, and I'd give them to a friend of mine, and he'd keep them for 2 or 3 months, and then he'd start using them. So there's nothing wrong with it. So it was
Yeah.
probably me.
Hey, I'm not gonna point any fingers, but it might have been, but we're
Could have
gonna
been.
move forward. Yeah, we're gonna move forward and try to make this thing happen again. So let me tell you a little bit about Michelle Leigh. She's a Southern rocker with a bit of music mosaic. Born in small Western North Carolina, she grew up in what she calls a Norman Rockwell setting where doors were never locked, neighbors were always quick to lend a hand, and no matter how old you were, manners were always in style. She did not grow up singing in church, though she can sing most any old time gospel song you would want to hear. Instead, Tina Turner, the Sonny and Cher show, Dolly Parton, and Elvis were her early inspirations. And then it says her first endeavor in the entertainment world was in high school and college during tour choirs. After college, Michelle performed across Western North Carolina with her brother Mark. She loved the small, intimate setting of an acoustic duo. And then it says down here, let's see, country music seemed to be the obvious choice. So she threw all her efforts in performing country, writing country songs, and courting Music City. She has worked with some of the finest in country music: Jamie O'Neill, Kent Wells, who was under Dolly Parton, Jimmy Mattingly under Reba McEntire, Billy Noble, Tim McGraw, Charlie Kelley, David Fowler, and many more. And then let's see what else we have down here. She'd be described as having a tube amp vocal, and she always prefers men, rough and tumble songs that drive beat over the smooth and sometimes sad, longing songs from ladies. So yeah, Michelle, you've done a lot, and that says a lot. So welcome again, and thank you for this opportunity.
No, thank you. I mean, this is my honor and pleasure. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So tell us, how it is and how it was starting off in Western North Carolina as a Southern
Oh God.
rock slash country music. singer?
I fell into Southern rock by accident, I think. As they say in country, bass backwards. Have you ever heard bass backwards?
Yeah, bass. Uh-huh.
That's kind of how I fell into Southern rock. Actually, that genre started with the very first Josie Music Awards. I didn't know. I mean, I've known Josie and Tina for a long time, but I had no idea that I was even in the running to get nominated or anything. And then they called and said, "Well, you're nominated for Southern Rock Artist of the Year." And I was like, "What? Oh my gosh, that's awesome!" So, and I actually won that year. I couldn't believe it. That was so awesome. And that was at a time. It was a real gift that I won that year because I kind of needed that little boost of self-assurance back then. But, and from then on, it's kind of like, okay, well, yeah, you do really fit that a lot more than you do the country genre because Southern rock is just rocked up outlaw country. That's all in the world it is. And, Southern rockers like Skinner Boys, Molly Hatchet, Blackfoot, all those guys, they're country boys. They are, corn-fed country boys. And, a lot of times they were rougher than a cob and they just had a little more edge to their music. And, so that's just the way it is. It's still the backbone of it. I feel like it's still very much country and like the rhythm and blues and maybe some Delta blues thrown in there, whatever. But I'm tickled to pick that up and run with it, and it does suit me because I don't like to write the sweet little sappy songs very much. That's just not me. And I'd probably fall over dead if I thought I was going to ever beg to a guy or anything. But anyways, I kind of like the harder topic songs, and so it really does fit me a lot more than country would, I guess. But then I've got this accent, so everything sounds like country.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ever since I've talked to you and spoke with you the very first time, I heard that Southern drawl. That's why for a long time I thought you were from Tennessee. But North Carolina,
well, we're right
Tennessee,
on the border. I mean, we sound just like them. There's not a nickel difference between us. So
yeah. So okay. So let's get this out here. Is North Carolina known as the South, or is that?
Yeah, it is. It's right on the edge, really. If you look back. When the Civil War was going on, everything, North Carolina really was a very divided state. It was, literally brother would fight against brother. One will be on one side, one will be on the other side, and it didn't really matter regions in North Carolina. That was just the way it was in North Carolina. So we're kind of we are definitely Southern, but we're not like deep South. We're not deep. Right. Yeah. So the accent's a little bit different. We have my grandfather would always tell me that we had more of an Elizabethan accent. That had developed closer to the Elizabethan speech because we are up in the mountains and kind of shut off, so we didn't have a lot of the influence from the other cultures coming in. The Appalachian Mountains. Stayed more true to the sound of the accent and the enunciations and everything. So
because you got the same accent that, like you said, I've been to South Carolina, it sounds like you. Been to North Carolina, it sounds like you. Been to Tennessee, it sounds like you. So that's why I asked, do y'all refer to your area as being the South? But it makes a lot of sense.
Right. I'd love to have that Charleston accent, that slow drawl. I'd love to have that, but I don't. I've just got the old mountain accent, and that's fine with me. So.
Yeah. Okay. So what was your experience in writing your first song?
Oh wow. Well, my very first song, I still haven't recorded it yet, and I like it. I it's just I never end up going back and looking at it. And you know, when you're rifling through papers and stuff, and you come across something, or you're flipping through your computer files, it's like, oh man, I really should do something with that. But I mean, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not a very good melody writer. If unless it just hits me right then, if I have to sit down and actually try to make the melody fit the lyrics, I have a really hard time with that. I can do it, but it's not. It doesn't come natural to me at all. That's that's why I'm so lucky to have a producer like Charlie Kelley. That I've actually, Charlie's been on, I'd say 95% of all of my recorded songs. There are only a couple that he has not played on, and I've been going to Charlie since I think 2010. And he's just wonderful. He's very patient with me, and he's I get really intimidated in studio, like super intimidated. So he knows how to just kind of get me to take it down a notch and not be so wringing my hands. Yeah, and he can tell me exactly how he wants it to sound and what he wants me to do, and he, you know. Some other producers I've worked with, and no fault of their own, it's me, but I'd have a hard time understanding exactly what they wanted, and then ultimately neither one of us were satisfied. But yeah, my first song, going back to that, it was called It Was Easy When She Was 18. So and it talks about a lady that's you know, she's found herself divorced, and she's back on the dating scene, and she's older, and she's scared to death. She's got her first date, and she doesn't know when, and she doesn't even know how to act. She's like, I think I'm just going to cancel. Da, 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 da. And I think it's got a lot of potential. I just have to get it ready. I don't want to leave it behind, but I definitely have some polishing to do on it. But then the next one was Triple J, which I think a lot of people are really familiar with the Triple J. Corey Lee Barker is the co-writer on that, and he's just wonderful. We all call him Mr. Christmas because he's had, I don't know, like a gazillion cuts on the Hallmark Channel for Christmas songs. He's just amazing. Corey Lee Barker. Yeah, I know you've probably seen his name, floating around.
I bet you I have.
Oh, he's just a sweetheart of a human being, and been really fortunate to write some of my favorite songs with him. So. Wow.
So how'd you get the connection with your your main producer, Charlie?
It's kind of a funny story. So I was playing this little bar called Long Necks one night, and it was just me and my guitar player, and we were perched up on these little stools, and there was a couple sitting there, and honestly, I thought we were putting them through misery because they did not look happy. They were just, turns out, they're some of my dearest friends now, but turns out, they were listening, and that's, they're very musical people, and they were just listening. So, the guy comes up after we get finished, and I was like, oh boy, we're going to hear it. We're going to hear how awful we were. And we're going, and he says, hey, listen, he's like, I really liked your songs. I liked your singing. I've got a cousin in Nashville. Well, then, of course, it's like, yeah, everybody's got a cousin in Nashville.
Right,
and I was real polite, real nice. So I was like, okay, all right, yeah. And he was like, well, do you mind if I give him your information? I was like, no, go ahead. Didn't think another thing of it. And the next thing I know, David Fowler is calling me. And David started out, I think, with Helen Cornelius, and he was with Lori Morgan for a very long time, Colin Ray for a really long time. He's worked with a lot of big name people. Fun guy and tremendous bass player. He's just a monster on the bass. And he's the one that got me hooked up with Jamie O'Neill. Well, when I went up there to record with Jamie and David, Charlie was one of the session players. He was the lead guitar on the sessions, and we hit it off. He's just a super, super sweet guy. And literally from day one, from Triple J until now, Charlie has played on stuff. And, I started doing more and more recording with David, ended up doing like five or six songs up there. And, then Charlie was like, listen, he was like, would you, if you wanted to ever try another flavor, because different producers have different styles, I guess.
Yeah,
and I don't know if he just felt like maybe we were more suited I don't know. I mean, but it really worked out. It really worked out. So I just enjoy working with him, and it's a very, it's not an intimidating setting at all. I mean, I still get intimidated with him a little bit because he is just so awesome. I mean, he was with Doug Stone for a while. There was a band back in the 90s called the Buffalo Club, and he was with the Buffalo Club, and just great, and just plays everything. And it's like, oh my gosh, I feel like an idiot sometimes, but no, he's just wonderful. And that's how we ended up working together. And I've just kept going back to him. And the times I have stepped out, to work with other people, I have really enjoyed it. It's been a learn. There's only one time, and I won't even go into that but it was awful. That I might as well have flushed $2,500 down the toilet with that time. But anyway, it was pretty miserable. But we won't call any names.
It's all about the chemistry, though. You know what I'm saying? It's all about
it really is. But every single one, except for that one bad one, I've learned something from. I've enjoyed it. They've been great people. Also, I work with a guy here that's I've known my whole adult life since I was 18 years old, Jack Muscari. He's kind of like my second after Charlie. And Jack and I are actually working on a song right now that we've been trying to get out for like 3 or 4 years now. So we're trying to get that out. But he's super cool, super busy all the time. But I've been really, really blessed to work with some great people.
So tremendous. Okay, so tell us about the new project that you were telling me about, earlier. Like Tell me about that.
I've got an EP out. It's called Harlequin, and the reason I called it Harlequin is because it's such a mixed bag of everything. You've got a song about the condition of the world that I did with Rita Faye Tanner and Bob McGilpin, wonderful people, and it's called "What Do You Want From Me?" And it's this person is like, God, I see all this bad stuff happening. I wake up and it's nothing but sirens and murder and bombs and this, that, and the other. And what am I supposed to do? What do you want from me? What am I supposed to do? And it's that kind of frustration, everything. And then it resolves at the end. And it's like, love one another the way I love you. And I loved working with Rita, and I loved working with Bob. They were amazing. So got that song. And then another song on there is called That Was Mama. And my friend Kim McAdoo, her sweet little mom passed away, and she was just heartbroken. She still is heartbroken. That's been a few years ago, but she asked me, she was like, would you help me write a song about my mom? And I was like, well, that's no small feat. So, writing about somebody's mom. And I had never met the lady. I didn't know her. So I relied on Kim to tell me about her mom. And so we talked back and forth and everything. And the original plan was that I was going to do the lyrics, and Kim was going to throw some lyrics in there. And, we were going to just, mash this thing all up together. And then we were going to hand it off to somebody to write the music for it. Well, we never could find anybody that had the time really to take it on. So it was getting close to the deadline for the Josies. Was that last year? And it was the year before. It's last year. That was last year. So that was one of those occasions that I had to just make myself write the music. I had to just sit down and with the lyrics and just grind it out. And man alive. And I joke with her. I was like, boy, I tell you what, that put me through my paces. And it was good for me because it was so hard to do. First of all, capturing somebody's mom that you didn't know, and you wanted to capture that love between the mother and the daughter. And Kim was great, telling me all about her mom, telling me, things that they went through together. And that really is the backbone of the song. But then I have to make myself do the music. I was like, oh, good Lord. And I just had my fingers crossed that she liked it. And I sent it to her, and I didn't hear back. It's like 10 minutes and I hadn't heard anything. I was like, well, the song's only 3 minutes long. Why
right.
Like, oh my gosh, she hates it. And then she texted me back, and she was like, I had to listen to it a couple of times. She's like, I'm just bawling. I love it. And I'm like, phew. So that one's fully cut this year, and we do have a nomination with it. I'm really proud of it. I've got one for my friend Paul Bloom, who has Bloomtown Productions out in Arizona. It's a Western. He does Western movies. It's called The Reaper. You know, his character and his role playing and all that is the Reaper. So he's writing a movie based on his character. And he had asked me if I would do the song for it. And so I got the lyrics and called Charlie and I was like, Charlie, can you please help me with the music? And he's like, sure thing. So we've got this killer Reaper song out there now. And then the one that I love so much, golly, about 10 years ago, Charlie gave me this demo that he had cut for this person. And I loved the song. I fell in love with the song. It was a guy singing it, and it's called Shiver. And I was like, man, I really want to do that. Well, this year I got around to doing it. You know what, Charlie, with moves and this, that, and the other, and something, I don't know how in the world, but you know how things happen. We can't find the dude who wrote the song. We can't find the guy who cut it. We have no clue. So I've got this awesome song out there that's not eligible to go into any awards because I don't know who the writer is. So if this person makes it out, if anybody knows who wrote this song, I'm dying to give this guy credit and get him on, the getting paid and stuff, but we can't find him.
So how does that? How does that work? So did your producer just bring the song over to you? You guys recorded it, and then how did that work?
Yeah, well, he had cut the demo for the guy and everything, so he had done all the tracks and everything, and he knew the fella. But it had been so many years ago. Like it had been several years when he gave the song to me to listen to, and that was at least 10 years ago. So, we're looking, like maybe 13, 14 years ago that this guy was in the studio and cut it. And then he said he never heard from him again. So it's like, oh my gosh, where's this guy? But it's a wonderful song. I absolutely love it. And, it's out there. I want everybody to go listen to it. But as far as putting it in for Grammy consideration this year, or I put it in for Josie's, but it didn't get a nomination. And I feel like it didn't because we didn't know who the writer was. I called the Grammy people. I was like, well, what do I do with this? How do I address this? And I also called BMI because I'm a BMI artist. And they're like, well, just write writer unknown for right now. And then when it, if you find who it is, we can get everything adjusted then. But I didn't write it. I don't want to take anybody's credit or anything like that. But I love the song, so I had to cut it. So, but we've got some great things coming up too. The ones that I've got on tap, they're going to be some of my favorites. I know I'm getting ready to have another Bloodwater. I know it because I've got one called Harlan County. I've not decided if we're going to call it Harlan County or if we're going to call it the Holler. But the lyrics are finished, and we just got to crank the music out. And I've got one called The River. I've got Sweet Southern Summer. What's Tobacco Road? It's about very. Sweet Southern Summer and Tobacco Road are very autobiographical. And my cousin Tanya actually had written this poem called Sweet Southern Summers. And she says, you think you could do something with this? And I was like, well, man, let's try something with it. So my friend D-Rock, do you know Desi D-Rock?
I don't think I've heard of him.
We call him the Bear. He is precious. He's in Chattanooga, I believe. Oh, okay. We're getting ready to record some stuff coming up too. And if you've heard my song, He Said, She Said, he's the gentleman singing with me on that. But we're getting ready to. He's going to help me write Sweet Southern Summer. It just felt like a D-Rock song. So, and my cat Jasper is probably going to jump in my lap here. He's crawled up. Jasper, come here and say hi.
I just did a reel with my cat earlier today, so yeah, it must be one of those.
The furry love of my life. He has to come and see what's going on.
So. Oh yeah, most definitely. So lastly, I would ask, tell us about the whole creation of the video I Didn't.
Oh, this is so cool. So a while back, we did the video for Lightning in a Bottle, and the director of that video, he had this idea to start doing a series that it's going to have a continued storyline through several videos. And we're taking the Wizard of Oz and we're meshing it up with some time travel and some, some fantasy and this, that, and the other. And she's it's discovering how the Wicked Witch became the Wicked Witch, because she wasn't always the Wicked Witch. She once was a girl in love and somebody killed her true love, and now she's going through time to find this person, this Lionheart. His name's Lionheart. Going through time to find Lionheart, and who so she can kill him. It's got a lot of I don't know. It feels kind of Anne Rice to me a little bit, like the author Anne Rice. I don't want to get too horror movie with it. That's not a good testament for my for my Christian life. I can't go. You got to be really careful with that, because I don't want to give the devil any kind of credit or any kind of anything. But this one was kind of the transition video between Lightning in a Bottle. So now she's kind of stuck in Savannah, except it's modern day, and she's looking for this guy. And if you notice, and I switched directors because my first director was unavailable for this one. So I've got Miles Dante that did this one. He is absolutely awesome. He's out actually does a lot of stuff in LA, and he's working on some TV show, and I can't remember the name of it. Sorry, Miles. But he's absolutely awesome. He did my Jesus Thinks I'm Beautiful video, and I love him to death. And so this video, if you notice, it's got like some glitches in it, and sometimes. So that's supposed to signify where she's kind of shorting out in her brain, like it's driven her crazy. So she's kind of like, because it kind of switches back and forth in the cemetery scenes and this, that, and the other. And my favorite part is when she walks, she starts out walking, she's blonde and in a white outfit, and she passes by this one area, and then she comes out and she's a redhead in this black outfit. So it's just the coolest thing. But from this one, we'll go to He Said, She Said, which will be the culmination of the two videos, and she will actually find Lionheart, and they'll have their moment, and we'll see who kills who at the end of it.
Now you got me interested. Now I'm interested.
I'm going to have to, I don't know, I'm going to have to like sell a body part or something to get this next video made, because it is very, very, very detailed, very intricate, and it's going to just set me back. But I gotta do it. I just gotta do it.
Yeah, you got to. You ain't got to start it. You got to do it now.
Once it gets up here, I've got to do it. So.
All right. Well. So lastly, we will ask, other than the video that's coming out, eventually, what else do you have going on in regards to performances, award shows, or anything like that?
Oh gosh, yes. August 30th, they changed the date on me. But it's so cool. We get to play the Bare Bones Festival over at Pioneer Point, and it's close to Dandridge, Tennessee. And we're going to be sharing stage with Diamonds and Whiskey and some other people. And it's going to be a fun night. It's going to be awesome. Then I'm going to be playing in Spruce Pine, North Carolina for the barbecue festival up there. And that's in my home county. So I am tickled to death to be playing up there this year. So that's going to be, and we're honoring my choral teacher from back in high school. It's going to be to honor her. Looking forward to that. We've got the Josie Music Awards coming up end of October, the 26th. And I want to say I've got 13 nominations this year, and I'm so tickled with that. And some of them, like a good friend of mine, Autumn Davis, cut a couple of my songs, and so they got nominated for song of the year, I believe. And then because the writer gets nominated for that along with the performing artist. And then Grammy submissions are coming up, and just all kinds of things. I did a cover song last year that I want to get started on that video. You remember Bruce Springsteen's "I'm on Fire"?
How's it go?
Yeah, the "Hey Little Girl, Is Your Daddy Home"? You remember that song?
Yeah.
So I cut that one last year, and I'm working on. I want to do the video for it like really, really soon. But it's a cover song, so I can't. I have to make sure I give my stuff precedence. and that's
Make
going to
sure it
be,
gets cleared.
yeah. So, but that's going to be a lot of fun. Then, of course, I've got all the other songs just waiting. They're just waiting in the queue to get recorded, and it's it's all about the money. You got to do it when you can do it.
It's all about that.
Yeah. So, but I'm very, very tickled with everything I've got coming up, and I've kind of laid back for the last couple of years. It's just like it's just not been the best couple of years, and kind of in a funk. And I think I'm starting to come out of it a little bit. Not the same as I was back then, but I'm starting to come out of it a little bit, and I think my music's going to reflect that. And I'm not playing just anything that comes along, because I'm getting older. The vocal cords don't hold out like they used to, so I can't go out and play bars, 3 nights a week or something like that.
Right.
I can't do it. So I'm being a little bit choosy about where I go, and that's fine. And my band's awesome. I love my band. We just had a great rehearsal yesterday, and these guys are tremendous, and things are starting to gear back up. So I'm ready for it.
And you got to make it count, like you said. When you're not doing as much, just got to make it count. Whatever whatever is beneficial to you is what's going to count. Lastly, where can our audience, viewers, find you online if they want to get a hold of Michelle Leigh?
Oh, the easiest thing to do is go to michelleleigh.com, and it's Michelle Leigh.com, because there all those nice little buttons for all my social media are at the bottom. And you can click on those, because I couldn't tell you one of my actual addresses for any of my social medias if I had to. I'm not geared that way in my brain. Real quick, I do want to say at the Bare Bones Festival, if I can get that out, we're happy to be an advocate for a group called Lambs to Lions, and it's a human trafficking prevention and awareness group. I want to give real quick shout out. I've got to get some work done for them. But that whole thing that weekend is going to be about getting that awareness and getting them some support. And I'm tickled to be a part of that. So I just want to give them a real quick plug there. So
that's huge. Human trafficking is a real thing.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. It's crazy that even goes on. Being from a small town, I don't think about things like that, because that wasn't a thing I grew up with at all. I mean, your worst crime was somebody maybe having a little bit too much moonshine one night and shooting somebody's cow or something. We didn't have that kind of stuff. Not the cow.
Okay. Well, thank you again for giving us this opportunity, Michelle. I do want to let the viewers know, and you as well, that this will be rebroadcasted on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn.
Awesome.
But thanks everybody that tuned in. We really, truly appreciate this. This was a great interview with a lot of information. Check out michelleleigh.com. MichellLeigh.com.
There's another E in there.
Is it? Oh, I messed up. Y'all figure it out. I was trying to show out. Y'all figure it out. But yeah, thanks again, Michelle, and and also thanks again for being a part of the podcast series, Women in Entertainment.
I'm so appreciative of this opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. I'll be checking out the videos and the videos to come, and hopefully everybody else will. Good luck on the Josie Awards. That's coming up, and good luck on the Grammys, because that's always a big thing as well. So for those, keep tuning in. We're gonna continue to do this. Hopefully, we can continue to do the series until the end of the year, but we'll see. But we got plenty of interviews coming up this month and next. I've been grateful to already start booking September. So yeah, that's a great thing. So
it's a great series. Good for you.
Yeah, well, thank you. And we will tune in next time, Michelle. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll talk soon.
How do you too? Thank you.
All right. Have a good night, y'all. Peace.
like a lonely road when you're all alone. Just stay focused, stay in your zone, gotta keep control. You can't love nobody else if you can't love yourself. To change our future, be willing for see what's change ourselves. I'm on a positive vibe. I got a positive vibe. Living positive vibe. From this positive vibe.